Patsy Doop and Dave Baird are now known as Patsy and Dave, but they used to be known as the long and short of it. Under that banner, they released albums, the latest of which was Midnight Choir. As Patsy and Dave, they have a brand new single, Dream Vacation. So I'm going to ask them perhaps about dreams and vacations and dream vacations, and we'll put it all together. Hello, Patsy, and hello, Dave.
Hi,
How you
Sophie.
going, Sophie?
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And I've been listening to your new single and also enjoying the video, and I'm going to ask you about that. However, let's start with the name change because you were the long and short of it for quite a while, and you released quite a lot of music under that name. So,
Yeah.
what prompted the change?
Well, we're just basically sick of it. No,
No,
there's
that's
a
not
few
true.
other reasons.
No,
Well,
no,
we kind
that's
of
not
were,
true.
but we've been thinking of changing the name for quite a few years actually, but never did anything about it. But there's a few reasons because people wouldn't actually get it quite right, and they would have trouble finding us. They'd
Right.
add the extra "the" in there, like the long and the short of it,
Or the big and the
or the big and
small,
small
or
of it,
whatever.
or whatever.
Yeah, and
Right.
so if we were performing at a festival, for example, they'd see us and then they'd say, what was that act again? So we'd try and get that
Yeah,
YouTube, and they could never find us. So
Right.
that was a big issue for us. But
yeah.
there is another bigger reason as well.
And there also is another band in LA called of the same name,
Right.
and they do not play country music.
Right.
They are a heavy metal band, and
Okay.
a lot of people were getting us mixed up with them, and they
Right.
try and search for our music and come across their music and
Yeah.
got lots of profanity,
Yes.
and it's far removed from country as you can imagine. So
Yeah.
and another reason I think too, there's probably three main reasons, and people didn't really know whether we were serious country musicians or we were some sort of a comedy act.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are three kind of main reasons that we changed the name. But we are serious country,
Mhm.
singer-songwriters, and we just thought, well, let's take that out of the equation, then people know that we're serious about our music, and we always have been.
Yeah, and true. And obviously our fans know us as Patsy and Dave anyway. So
Mhm.
it was an easy transition, we hope. But it's not as easy as all that, Sophie, because we've now got to rebrand everything. And we
There's
forgot about
there's
that
been
bit.
a lot of work going on behind the
Yeah.
scenes with all the rebranding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is so much to think about. Just it's not only social media accounts. There's also make sure the streaming platforms are up to date, and also I would think you have to move your music to the new accounts if
That's
unless
right.
it's a
Yeah.
straightforward swap.
Yeah.
But look, from an SEO or search engine optimization point of view, I can see why you would change it because there's probably only one Patsy and Dave
That's
comment.
true.
We can't
It's
find
true. We
another
can't find
Patsy
anybody
and
else.
Dave, just like Sonny and Cher, Simon and Garfunkel. Now, we actually did think about that as well. Like, is it a bit daggy just to be called Patsy and Dave? But we thought, no, we looked at other examples of
Yeah.
duos that have done
Mm.
that before, and we thought, no, I think it's fine.
It'd be nice
And
if
we
we were
can't,
that caliber.
we could not find anyone else called Patsy and Dave. So,
Yeah. So it all
And
makes
it is something to think about. And it's look, I've spent a bit of time studying all that sort of stuff for this country music enterprise, and there's a lot to learn and a lot to keep on top of, and it is important because it does increase people's chances of finding you, and so it makes total sense to change the name, and you've explained it really well. And I should also point out that you're talking about being serious musicians. At the time we're speaking, you've just come back from playing two shows really close together in Queensland. No doubt you're off somewhere else. So yeah, there are people who will be wanting to find your music, and you need to make it Googleable.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we haven't done a lot in Queensland in the past. We've done Outback
Yeah.
Queensland before, music in the Mulga. We've done a couple of festivals at that one, and that was fantastic. But these were new venues. We hadn't played at these venues before, Twin Towns and Sunpack Theatre, and the reception we got was
Really
really
great.
warm and
Yeah,
welcoming. It was
fantastic.
great, and I think people would hopefully be happy to have us back again.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Next year we'll be going.
Yeah.
Particularly if they can find you when searching for you. It's
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, that's
We've
it.
just made it easier for them.
And we did all of that when we were performing too. We explained to everybody we used to be called the long and short of it because when we booked the shows ages ago, we of course were the long and short of it. So
So actually, one show was under the old long and short of it, and the one at Sunnybanks was under Patsy and Dave. So it was
yeah,
quite
it's quite cool. We felt
yeah
like we were a bit,
yeah divided.
yeah, we were.
so it's kind of like a good changing of the guard experience.
Yes,
Yeah,
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 Yeah.
yeah.
for sure.
When you first started playing music together, did you have a completely different name? So would this be name number 3, or were you the long
No.
and short right at the start?
No.
It was always, we didn't have a name in the beginning. When we were basically playing at a local tavern where
Yeah.
we met on a Saturday afternoon for nothing, basically just building a repertoire, getting used to playing in front of an audience, and that's where we started to build a bit of a following. You know, we used to do that every Saturday afternoon, didn't we?
Yeah.
And learning a repertoire, and in those days it was mostly sort of country cover songs, or contemporary sort of music, and then we sort of drifted more into the country sort of genre because we both love it, and we thought with the harmonies and everything, it's a great sound for country music.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you did start playing together, were you rehearsing a lot, or was it more of a?
We were rehearsing a lot. Like I
for about at least a year.
5 days. 4 or 5 days a week.
Oh God!
Every night we were rehearsing. Really, really hard because we were having so much fun with it as well.
Yeah.
And
was it rehearsing and jamming, or just rehearsing?
A bit of both, actually.
Yeah, a bit of both.
It was just fun back then, and we never thought that we'd be taking it as far as we have.
Yeah.
We wouldn't think that we'd be doing theatre shows and going to Tamworth and all that sort of stuff. It was just a bit of fun when we first started off, and it's just sort of grown from there.
And then the songwriting.
And the songwriting came a bit later. We were encouraged to write, and I, we didn't sort of think that we could write a song in the beginning, but we were encouraged to try and do it, and we started doing it, and then people were sort of liking what we were doing, and I think that's something that's just sort of developed naturally over time.
Why didn't you think you could write songs?
It's just I think we just thought we were just going to be a country cover band, and but I'm glad that someone actually pushed us to start writing, and to believe that we had maybe something to offer in that area. And the first song I wrote was probably not really a country song, but I was so proud of it. I had to book a recording studio. I was so it was my vocal coach at the time. He said, "That's a really good song, Dave. You should you should write another one if that's what you come up with. I really like it."
Yeah.
And but I got really, really carried away with it, and I jumped into the recording studio and I recorded it. And I think when I listened, I still like the song, but I think we've grown a lot since those days, and now we write together. We write melodies, chord progressions, and lyrics together, and it's a really good collaboration.
Yeah, it's great. We enjoy, and we've got a recording studio, so it makes sense now.
Well, we've built our own recording studio because we love recording so much. So
there you go.
So Patsy, do you write songs on your own and take them to Dave as well? Because as he's talking about writing songs himself.
Funnily enough, we have been co-writing together for a long time, and so we do co-write together. But I go away and I'll do sort of a little bit of some lyrics and stuff, and then I'll present them to Dave, and then he'll say, "Oh, I'm not sure about that, but we'll do that," And in actual fact, it's a collaboration.
I think we're a good team. In the fact that Patsy will come up with an idea, a good title for a song, an idea, and I'm not too bad at coming up with chord progressions and melodies, and then we sort of both work on the lyrics together. But it's really just a 50-50 kind of split with everything we do.
Yeah.
So when you met at that tavern, whenever it was a few years ago, was it instinct that made you think this could work, or something else about each other? You just started playing together and you thought, okay, yeah, that sounds all right.
It's really quite a funny story, actually.
It wasn't my instinct at all. It was Patsy that actually approached me.
Yeah, I did.
And I was just still nervous I was just sort of doing a few songs in between band breaks, because they invited me along and said, "Look, you need to get some confidence up there." And I just had my guitar and I was, I was just singing a few cover songs, but Patsy heard me and she liked what I was doing. And
I did. And I went up and asked him if he'd sing a duet with me, and he said, he went white and ran away. Actually,
well, I think I said, could I think about it?
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say because I was just so nervous.
Right.
And then someone wanted to sing with me, and I thought that was just putting extra pressure on me. And I really didn't know, but she did say that she thought our voices were very complimentary, and that turned out to be right.
And Patsy, what did you think when he ran away?
Look, I pursued him. I didn't give up at that point.
He was relentless.
I get out. I wasn't so relentless, but anyway, we ended up, I went around to Dave's house and we did some singing together and realized that, we could actually start doing some performance together. So that was really nice. And then it wasn't that long after we started singing, to be honest with you, that we started thinking about writing together. It probably was only about a year after we, started performing that we started writing. So that would have been, gosh, it's about 17 years ago we met,
So
and
it would have been like 15 or 16 years ago
we started writing.
Right. Well, that is a very long-standing collaboration. So what do you most like about each other that you bring to the enterprise? Because clearly it's working.
I think we get on really, really well together, and we do argue.
I mean, we do argue, but it's like I think
it's constructive.
We sort of enjoy each other's company, and we do. We're good friends. I mean, and we get along really well. But we're so comfortable with each other now that we just, I don't like something Patsy's doing, I'll tell her, and she doesn't like something I'm doing, she'll just say, no, that's just just garbage. Come on. And that's how it is these days. It's just, just
somehow we get a song out of all that. I'm not entirely sure how, but we do. And,
but we will sort of complement each other. We'll be working on a song and something, that Patsy will say that I think this would be a good line here, and I'll go, oh wow, that's brilliant.
And the good thing is having a recording studio, because we can just nip in there and lay down some tracks and start the whole process.
We can do a rough demo and then live with it for a week and see whether we like it, or if there's something where we can sort of work on further, or just no, that's not working, just ditch that and let's start something else.
We're actually under a bit of pressure at the moment because that single which we're about to talk about that's part of a new album for us, so we're releasing that on 6th of September. And we're still in the process of finishing one of the songs. So, it's an evolution at the minute, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, you've actually timed that extremely well, because my next question was about the vacation. Before we talk about the song, though, I'm going to ask each of you if you have a dream vacation spot.
Well, I do, but what about you? What do you have?
Well, I do.
It's always fishing.
Mine would involve fishing. So I've had this dream that I want to go to Lord Howe Island.
And
we've been talking about this for a while. And if we could get a few gigs on Lord Howe Island, and tie in some game fishing.
Oh, there you go. I won't be doing
that. Would be my dream vacation.
I have no sea legs. Don't worry about it. But we did do country cruising, and surprise, I didn't vomit. So that was very impressed with that.
Well, and I have seen video from that cruising country where the stage is doing this. Performers, and I just think, I don't know how you do that. But Patsy, where is your dream vacation spot?
Well, you know what? There is. I love traveling, and I do love going to Europe. That would be really lovely. I had a fantastic time with my dad before he passed away. We went to Italy, and we did Sorrento and Positano and all of that area together. And it was just really sweet. It was beautiful blue water, glorious skies, and wonderful conversation. We just had the best time ever. So, and all of the beautiful Roman ruins and artifacts. I mean, it's just amazing. But and that's my dream vacation. I think just because it was just the company, that I was keeping at the time, and it was fantastic. So, yeah, I think I'd like to do that again.
Well, you can try to manifest Lord Howe Island. That's not unachievable.
That's not unachievable. No. Maybe Europe might be,
but yes, because there are tourists there. They need entertainment.
They sure do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because the dream vacation of the title and in the song is a play on words, because it is about the ideal vacation, but also about dreaming of vacation, I'm going to ask you both if you have actually dreamed of a vacation.
I think I have. I think I have. I mean, I might add, dreams are funny things, are they not? Because the other night before we actually performed in Queensland, I had a dream. It was a terrible dream, actually. I dreamt that all my clothes, my performance clothes, I shouldn't say all my clothes, but my performing clothes, they were not in my case. And so somehow I ended up in Queensland with, no equipment, none of my gear to wear on stage. It was really quite daunting. Perhaps there was a bit of anxiety there. I'm not sure, but yeah, no, I think it is a bit of a play. I think dreaming. I mean, I think we probably do from time to time, don't you? I mean, you're in a really nice location, you have a lovely dream about a certain place or people that you're with. This person is a bit interesting because he goes to bed every night with his thongs on. And puts his Hawaiian shirt on, and he immediately goes to where he needs to be.
He's well overdue for a vacation.
Obviously.
Wow. And Dave, have you ever dreamed of a vacation? Maybe with thongs on?
I have. I think I have quite a few times, and it's always involved fishing, of course. my vacations, but and a lot of it I can't remember, but I just I know I wake up thinking I've been somewhere great, and I wake up with a smile on my face. So
yeah,
definitely.
Particularly if you've caught fish in that dream.
That's right. Yeah, yes. I'll wake up.
Yeah, and it was big,
And I'm not going to ask you for your fishing spots because, of course, that's giving away trade secrets, and you don't want everyone to go there.
No one gets my GPS marks.
Exactly. Now, the song "Dream Vacation" was brought to you by its writer, Kenny Royster. How do you know him?
Yes, Kenny's our producer from Nashville. We've co-written with Kenny quite a bit, actually, and we still record with Kenny. And we met Kenny many, many years ago, obviously, and we went to Nashville. We've been to Nashville a couple of times and worked with him. We were due to go back during COVID, and that never occurred. But we are just great friends. And Dave is Kenny's mini-me, I'd have to say that, because they love the same things. He loves fishing, he loves dirt bike riding, and all these things that Dave, does. They've just got a very similar background in terms. You wouldn't credit it.
He actually asked me one day. He goes, "Dave, what made you and Patsy pick me as a producer?" I said, "Well, it's easy, Kenny. I go, you like dirt bikes and you like fishing," and he just cracked up. Yeah. He just he fell on the floor.
It was nothing about that though. But no, he's a vocal coach.
He's a really a great world-class vocal coach, and that's what he's a producer, an engineer, and a vocal coach rolled in one. So you don't need to bring 3 different people into the studio. He has all of that wealth of knowledge himself, so he can do all that.
He was the one that we didn't realize it, but when we first recorded with him, he was vocal coaching Luke Combs.
Right.
He did that for a couple of years before Luke released Hurricane, that amazing song and that album, which went triple platinum around the world. And Sony, of course, had picked it up in the meantime, but none of the songs that Kenny had produced with him, I think there were 8 on that particular album, did they change because the production was so good. Right. So when Kenny was talking to us and said, I've got this song, it was written by Kenny and another writer. Unfortunately, that writer is now deceased, but a very, quite a great songwriter from Nashville. And he told us about it. We listened to it. We were just blown away. We just thought it was the best thing that you could do. It was guitar driven. It became guitar driven. It was a very different demo when we listened to it. But we
driving drums and all that. And it's quite different to anything else we've ever done before. But it still lives in that sort of country rock kind of genre. So that's why I thought it was just. And I mean, he doesn't sort of pitch songs to just anyone. Like he will just pitch a song that he thinks is suitable for the artist, and so we're grateful that he pitched that to us, and he's quite happy with he's very happy with the result, and we are too. Yeah.
So when you're listening to a demo like that, where it's not in the style of music as you would play it, is it like the hook of the chorus or something that you just think, yeah, I resonate with that and I can hear how it can be our song? What are you actually listening for when it is such a different musical setup?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm mostly listening, obviously, to the tune, but also the lyrics,
Mhm.
because they're very clever, and I can hear it as a duet. Well, part of it is a duet, so that I can chime in on the chorus or whatever else. And
yeah.
I think so.
I think the song, I mean, Dream Vacation, it can sound like a fairly simple song, but when you actually break it down, it's actually very clever in the way that it's been written with. It's got key changes in there, everything. And the lyrics, I mean, we are both suckers for great lyrics, and I think it's just very clever with the airline hostess, sort of.
Oh yes, I'm an airline
the
hostess.
intro and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I just we like clever songs, and we just thought that was one.
Yes, Patsy, you do get to be the airline hostess
I do.
voice
I
at
do.
the start and on the video. So as I mentioned, there is a really
true.
great video for it. You're playing next to a lovely pool somewhere.
Yes.
So how did the video come together?
That's so funny because we went down to Aries Inlet in Victoria, and it was pouring with rain. We could not believe it.
Oh, no.
We arrived, it was freezing cold and pouring rain, and the whole band is with us, and we've got our Hawaiian shirts on, and we're standing there absolutely freezing. And then we were there with our videographer, and everybody was all set up. We were ready to go, and we just thought this is going to be a complete disaster. But in the distance, there was this blue patch of sky that just suddenly appeared, and it sort of just gently came across, and the rain stopped, and it started to dry up on the ground, and then we realized we had an opportunity to do what we were doing. So that was perfect. And of course, Haley, who is our videographer, she put that sort of goldy sort of color on the video, so it looked like we were quite warm. But
so actually,
right.
we did not look cold. She made us
she
make
made
sure that we
quite
didn't
warm.
look cold, and it looked like a warm day. It was very clever, and it was great.
Yeah, we had a ball. Yeah, it was such fun to shoot that video.
Well, it looked like it.
Yeah, and then the flying and all that sort of stuff that was done at our venue in Yarraville.
It was done on a green screen.
Yeah, on a green screen in our venue. We had and the guy that plays the main sort of part about having his dreams and stuff. He's the funniest fellow. You can sort of see it when he ambles along. And mind you, we also made him a cocktail, and it was real.
A margarita.
A margarita. He drank it.
Because I thought, well, if I'm going to make him a margarita, it needs to look real, so I'll make him a real one. I didn't think he was going to drink it, but he drank the whole thing.
He thought it was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's a testament to your cocktail making skills.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Goes, oh, that's a nice margarita.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was fun. We actually, really came out well.
Yeah.
And for anyone who's watching the clip, they'll see, Dave, that you play guitar as a left-hander, and because you are left-handed. So, technical question: do you have a lefty guitar, or are you using a right-handed guitar?
I actually have a left-handed guitar. I play a Maton custom shop, so it was built for me. So I actually went to the factory, picked out all the timber and everything myself, and custom designed the fretboard inlays and everything like that. So it's great. I feel really comfortable playing it, because it's hard to find a good guitar off the shelf when you walk into a shop. There's hardly any left-handed guitars in any guitar shop anywhere. Yeah. So I decided to fork out a few dollars and get a custom made one.
He was actually complaining today about the fact that she's got a few dints in her from all the traveling that we've been doing.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was just thinking, well, given that you selected the timber and everything, you probably want to wrap that thing up in a cotton wool blanket when you travel.
Well, you know what? It's funny because I had the guitar, about a week, and it took 3 months to build it, so I had to wait 3 months to get it. And there's one guy in the factory that does just one guy that makes these custom guitars.
Right.
And I had it for about a week, and it fell off its stand, and it got a dent in it. And honestly, I was nearly crying. I had to phone a friend I said I had to phone a friend of mine up, and he's a guitar guru. Like he just loves guitars. He buys them and sells them. I said, no, I said you got to come around and look. I just got to put a dent in it, right? And he come around. He rushed to me. And I said, you got to come and have a look. I'm panicking, right? And he came around and he started to laugh. He goes, where is it? And I'm going, look there, can't you see it? Yeah, so I was just, but now it's just like, it's got, it's got dings all over it. And that's, well, I think, well, it gives it character. And it's a workhorse.
It's a workhorse and it's your tool, and it's unavoidable, I guess, given the amount of travel you do. It's just, they're all going to get chucked in the belly of the plane, aren't they?
That's it.
And the thing is, too, our lead guitarist, he's right-handed. So whenever we're on stage, we're like almost having a sword fight.
Oh, right. So you haven't arranged it so that, yeah. Well, hopefully the stages are always big enough to accommodate that. Otherwise, that could be troublesome.
Yes.
So you mentioned that you're making an album, and it sounds like it's coming up pretty soon. And so is it a process of feeling your way into your own studio and seeing how that's going to work for your album, or you were feeling pretty happy with the studio when you started?
Well, no, the studio's turned out to be absolutely magnificent, really, and we've got a vocal chain in there that's the same basically as Kenny's in Nashville. So we've kind of we've got again the mini me. We've got that sort of sound in our studio, so that he guided us on all of the equipment, and it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he took all the guesswork out for us, which was really good of him. Yeah, because he's tried everything. He's got. He said, just buy this, buy that. It works great.
Yeah, very nice of him to say, buy this, buy that. It was about a third mortgage on the property. But
I was about to say.
Buy this, buy that. But anyway.
It's not the best. Buy this, right?
Yeah. But anyway, we have, and it's all really good. Yeah. And it works really great. Well.
And we've had other artists. It's starting to attract a lot of work for other artists now. Which are, words getting out and they're coming to record here. Yeah. And even some other artists that Kenny has recorded with from Australia have actually flown here to record their vocals in the studio as well.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
So instead of going over to Nashville because of
cost. So are you producing other artists, or you're letting them have space?
We are producing other artists as well, but we can always have Kenny produce his artists, so they don't necessarily have to go to Nashville to do vocals.
It's amazing now, the things that you can do remotely.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you are non-stop busy at the moment between recording your own material, recording other people's material, touring with shows and releases. Do you have any days off, especially considering musicians tend to work on the weekends?
Yeah, we do. We don't really have any days off at the moment, and we're working pretty hard, as I said, on these songs. So, and we're in the studio all the time now, trying to get this album finished.
We've got one more song we're trying to finish to get on the album, but we're sort of struggling a little bit with it. So, but I think we'll get there. We'll get there with it. The basic concept of the song's there, but we're just got to work out the final sort of. We need a few more lyrics and the final sort of melody of the thing to bring it all together. But I think it'll make the album.
Yeah, it will, for sure. Yeah.
Well, and I have confidence you will figure it out. You have been working together for quite a long time. That collaboration, as I said, clearly is functioning. So, but the time I'm talking to you, you've literally just walked in the door from the airport. So, Patsy and Dave, I'm going to leave you to go to Dreamland for your dream vacation.
Thank you, Sophie, and thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much for your time.
Really appreciate your support.
Yeah, we really do. Thank you.
Thanks.